Chosen one, you have no idea what's coming next. This is the final step. Something is shifting around you in ways you cannot fully see yet, and if you keep listening with an open heart, you may receive a peace that feels like it was always meant for you. A peace that gently reminds you that nothing in your life has been wasted, not even the silent tears you thought nobody noticed. There is a quiet movement of God's hand unfolding right now, and it carries a deep sense of urgency, because what is coming next is not small, it is not ordinary, and it is not something you have experienced before. So stay with these words and let them settle gently into your spirit. Type 333 if you believe. You may have felt lost for a long time, like you were walking through a fog where nothing made sense, and every step forward felt uncertain and heavy. But even in those moments, the love of Lord Jesus Christ never left you, never turned away, and never stopped surrounding you with a quiet protection that you could not always recognize. There were nights when your heart felt tired and your hope felt distant, yet God was still working in unseen ways, carefully preparing something that needed time to grow strong and steady inside you. There is a reason you were not allowed to quit when everything in you wanted to stop, because your story was never meant to end in confusion or sorrow. It was always meant to reach a moment like this, where clarity begins to rise slowly, like the first light of morning. The final step is not something to fear, because it is not about losing something, it is about stepping into something that has been waiting for you with patience and love. Type 2222 if you agree. In the middle of your waiting, something sacred has been forming inside your soul, something that cannot be rushed or forced, something that only grows through trust, quiet endurance, and the gentle presence of God walking beside you, even when you could not feel it. Jesus has been shaping your heart to hold more peace, more strength, and more understanding than you ever thought possible, and now that shaping is reaching its completion. There were moments when you thought you were falling behind, when it seemed like others were moving forward while you remained in the same place. But what you could not see was that God was building your foundation deeper than anything around you. He was making sure that when your moment comes, it will not shake, it will not crumble, and it will not disappear like temporary things often do. Within the next few steps of your life, you will begin to notice small changes that carry a deep sense of meaning, like doors opening quietly without struggle, like peace settling in places that once felt restless, and like clarity replacing confusion in ways that feel natural and calm. These are not accidents or coincidences. These are signs that the final step is near and that everything is aligning according to God's perfect timing. If this is touching your heart in a quiet and meaningful way, take a moment to like this video, because it helps these words reach someone else who might be holding on to hope in silence. There is something deeply comforting about knowing that God never rushes what matters most, because He understands that the most beautiful transformations take time, patience, and care. Your journey has not been delayed. It has been protected, guided, and prepared with a level of love that is difficult to fully understand, but easy to feel when you slow down and listen closely. The final step is not loud or overwhelming, it is gentle and steady, like a hand guiding you forward with quiet confidence, reminding you that you are not alone and that you never have been. Jesus walks beside you with a calm presence that does not pressure or rush you, but instead invites you to trust and move forward with peace. Everything you have been through has brought you to this moment. Every struggle, every doubt, every small victory that felt unnoticed, all of it has been shaping you into someone who is ready to receive what is coming next. There is a sense of completion in the air, a feeling that something is about to settle into place in a way that finally makes sense to your heart. You are not the same person you were before, even if it sometimes feels like nothing has changed, because inside you there is a strength that has quietly grown, a faith that has deepened, and a peace that is beginning to take root. This is what God has been building all along, something real and lasting that cannot be taken away by temporary circumstances. The next step will not feel confusing or overwhelming. It will feel right, it will feel calm, and it will feel like something you were always meant to step into, even if you could not see it clearly before. There will be a quiet certainty in your spirit, a gentle knowing that this is where you are meant to be. Jesus has been preparing you not just for a moment, but for a new way of living, a way that carries peace instead of fear, hope instead of doubt, and love instead of heaviness. This is not about sudden change. It is about a steady transformation that feels natural and deeply comforting. As you move forward, you will begin to see how everything connects, how even the painful parts of your journey had a purpose, and how nothing was ever truly lost. God has been weaving your story together with care, turning every moment into something meaningful, something that leads you closer to His love. There is no need to rush or force anything now, because what is meant for you will come with a sense of peace that does not need to be chased or struggled for. The final step is not something you need to find. It is something that will gently meet you where you are, at the right time, in the right way. A concealed brainwave, once stored in classified files, is said to ignite strong prosperity. In just 7 minutes, you can unlock the switch in your mind that draws abundance like a magnet. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate your hidden wealth wave right now. You may start to feel a difference in the way your thoughts move, as if something inside you has slowed down and become more steady, more grounded, and more trusting. This is not something you forced or created on your own. This is the quiet work of Lord Jesus Christ, gently restoring what felt worn out and renewing what felt lost. He has been walking beside you all along, even in the moments when you felt like you were walking alone. There is a beauty in realizing that nothing you experienced was meaningless, not even the parts that felt heavy or confusing. God does not waste anything, and every part of your journey has been carefully held in His hands, being shaped into something that now begins to make sense in a deeper way. The final step is not about proving anything or achieving something beyond yourself. It is about stepping into a place of peace, where you finally feel aligned with the purpose that was always meant for you. Type 1111 if you trust in God. As you continue moving forward, you may notice that certain fears begin to fade without you having to fight them, as if they are quietly losing their hold on your heart. This is not because you suddenly became stronger on your own, but because God has been strengthening you in ways that go beyond what you can see. His love has been working gently, removing what no longer belongs in your spirit and replacing it with something steady and calm. There is a sense of release happening within you, a letting go of the need to control everything, a soft surrender that allows you to breathe more freely and live more peacefully. This surrender is not weakness, it is trust, and it is one of the most powerful steps you can take as you move closer to what God has prepared for you. Jesus invites you into this space of trust, where you no longer feel the need to carry everything alone. The final step carries a feeling of quiet confidence, not loud or overwhelming, but deeply rooted and stable. It is the kind of confidence that comes from knowing that you are held, guided, and loved beyond measure. You begin to see that your path is not uncertain, even if you cannot see every detail ahead, because you trust the one who is guiding you step by step. There is also a shift in how you see yourself, a gentle change that allows you to recognize your worth not based on what you have done, but based on who you are in the eyes of God. You are not forgotten, not overlooked, and not behind. You are exactly where you need to be for this moment to unfold in the way it was always meant to. This understanding brings a deep sense of peace that settles into your heart and stays there. You may begin to notice small blessings appearing in your life, things that feel simple but carry a deep meaning, like a sense of calm in your thoughts, a moment of unexpected joy, or a feeling of being guided in a direction that feels right. These are gentle reminders that God is near, that He is active in your life, and that He is leading you towards something that is good and lasting. The journey has not been easy, and there were times when it felt like you were carrying more than you could handle, but even in those moments, you were never truly alone. Jesus was there, holding you through every step, even when you could not feel His presence. Now, as you reach this point, you can begin to see how far you have come, not just in your circumstances but in your heart. There is a quiet strength within you now, a strength that does not come from pushing or striving, but from trusting and resting in God's love. This strength allows you to move forward without fear, without doubt, and without the weight that once held you back. It is a strength that feels natural and peaceful, like something that has always been a part of you, waiting to be fully realized. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. As the final step draws closer, you may feel a sense of anticipation, not the kind that creates anxiety, but the kind that brings hope and excitement in a calm and steady way. It is a feeling that something good is coming, something that will bring clarity, peace, and a deeper understanding of your path. This anticipation is a sign that your heart is aligning with what God has prepared for you. There is no need to rush or force anything, because what is meant for you will come in its own time, in the way that is best for you. God's timing is not rushed, and it is never late, it is always exactly right. You can trust that what is coming next will meet you where you are and lead you forward with grace and ease. You are stepping into a new space in your life, a space where things begin to feel lighter, clearer, and more meaningful. This is not the result of chance, it is the result of everything that has been happening behind the scenes, everything that God has been working on while you were simply trying to keep going. Now, that work is beginning to show itself in ways that you can feel and understand. The final step is not something you need to fear, it is something you can welcome with an open heart, knowing that it brings you closer to the life that was always meant for you. It is a step that carries peace, clarity, and a deep sense of belonging, a feeling that you are exactly where you are meant to be. Deep within your brain is a small area tied to wealth and success, once hidden in restricted studies and classified documents. This newly uncovered frequency is helping people exchange financial stress for ease, and God has led you to see this message at this very moment. Click the link in the description and comments to activate this hidden brainwave now. Jesus walks with you into this new space, not leaving you to figure it out alone, but guiding you with a gentle and steady presence that you can trust. He does not rush you or pressure you, but instead allows you to move at a pace that feels right for you, always reminding you that you are supported and loved. Everything is coming together in a way that may not have been clear before, but now begins to make sense in a deeper and more meaningful way. You can see how each part of your journey has led you here, how every experience has shaped you, and how nothing was ever wasted. There is a sense of completion, but also a sense of new beginning, a feeling that something is ending, while something even more beautiful is beginning. This is the space where transformation becomes visible, where the quiet work of God begins to shine through your life in ways that feel natural and real. The love of Jesus Christ becomes more than a distant idea. It becomes something you feel in your everyday moments, guiding your thoughts, shaping your reactions, and quietly reminding you that you are never walking alone. You may begin to notice how your responses to situations have changed, how things that once caused anxiety or fear now pass through your mind with less weight, as if they no longer have the same power over your peace. This is not because your life has become perfect, but because God has been transforming your heart from the inside, teaching you how to rest in His presence, even when things feel uncertain. There is a new awareness growing within you, a gentle understanding that you do not have to carry everything on your own anymore, because His strength is now becoming your strength. Type 1919 to receive miracles. There is something deeply comforting about realizing that the hardest parts of your journey were not there to harm you, but to prepare you for a level of peace and clarity that could not have been reached any other way. The tears you once cried in silence were not ignored, they were held with care, and every moment of doubt was gently met with patience and love from God. Even when you felt distant, even when your faith felt small, His presence never moved away from you. Now, as you continue stepping forward, there is a sense that you are no longer chasing something unknown, but instead walking into something that has been quietly waiting for you all along. It feels familiar in a way that is hard to explain, like a place your soul already recognizes, even if your mind is still catching up. This is what it feels like when God brings you into alignment with what was always meant for your life. There is also a new kind of clarity beginning to settle in your thoughts, where confusion once filled your mind with noise and uncertainty. Now, things begin to feel simpler, more direct, and more peaceful, as if the path ahead is being gently revealed one step at a time. You do not need to see the entire journey to feel secure, because the presence of God has become enough to guide you through whatever comes next. You may find yourself letting go of things that once felt important, but now no longer carry the same meaning, and this release does not feel like loss, it feels like freedom. It feels like making space for something better, something lighter, something that aligns more closely with the peace that is growing inside you. This is part of the final step, a gentle clearing away of what no longer belongs, so that what is meant for you can fully enter your life. As you continue forward, there is a quiet confidence that begins to rise, not loud or overwhelming, but steady and rooted in something deeper than circumstances. This confidence does not come from knowing everything, it comes from trusting God in everything, even in the unknown. It allows you to move without fear, to breathe without tension, and to live with a sense of calm assurance that everything is unfolding as it should. There is also a deeper connection forming between your heart and the presence of God, a connection that feels personal, real, and constant. It is not dependent on perfect moments or ideal conditions. It is there in the quiet, in the ordinary, and even in the moments when nothing seems to be happening. This connection becomes your anchor, holding you steady no matter what comes your way. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. You are entering a space where your faith is no longer just something you hold on to during difficult times, but something that becomes a natural part of how you live, think, and feel every day. It shapes the way you see the world, the way you treat others, and the way you understand yourself. It becomes a source of strength that does not fade, a light that continues to guide you even when the path is not fully visible. The final step carries with it a sense of peace that feels complete, as if something that was once missing has now been restored. It is not about achieving something new, but about stepping into something that was always yours, something that has been patiently waiting for the right moment to reveal itself. This moment is not rushed or forced. It unfolds naturally, gently, and perfectly in God's timing. There is a quiet joy that begins to grow within you, not loud or overwhelming, but steady and deeply rooted. It is the kind of joy that does not depend on external circumstances, but comes from knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. This joy becomes a source of strength, helping you move forward with confidence and peace. A 7-second brainwave approach, previously limited to elite groups and stored in classified files, is now available to everyone, and many call it the 30-second miracle. Researchers claim it stimulates a dormant brain center associated with prosperity and blessings. Click the link in the comments below before it is removed from the internet again. As you continue to walk this path, you may begin to see how everything has come together in a way that only God could have arranged. The connections, the timing, the lessons, all of it fits together in a way that makes sense, not just in your mind, but in your heart. There is a feeling of completion, a sense that something has come full circle. You are no longer the person you were at the beginning of this journey, and that change is something to be embraced with gratitude and peace. You have grown, you have healed, and you have become stronger in ways that are not always visible but deeply real. This growth is part of what prepares you to step fully into what comes next. The presence of Jesus Christ continues to guide you, not with pressure or force, but with love and patience. He walks with you into this new chapter, offering comfort, strength, and a steady presence that never leaves your side. You are not stepping into this alone, you are stepping into it with Him, and that changes everything. There is nothing to fear in what is coming, because it carries the same love that has been guiding you all along. It is not something unknown or uncertain. It is something that has been prepared with care, something that fits into your life in a way that feels natural and right. You can move forward with peace, knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. This stillness is not a pause in your life. It is a sacred transition where everything begins to settle into its rightful place, where the confusion that once filled your mind slowly fades away, and a calm clarity begins to take its place. You may notice that even when situations around you are not perfect, your inner world remains steady, like a quiet river flowing gently without disruption. This is the work of God within you, bringing a kind of peace that does not depend on external conditions. You have carried many things for a long time, things that weighed on your heart, things that made your steps feel heavy, and things that made your path feel uncertain, but now there is a release happening, a soft letting go that does not feel forced or painful, but natural and freeing. It is as if God is gently lifting those burdens from your shoulders, one by one, reminding you that you were never meant to carry them alone. Type 2020 to claim miracles. As this release continues, you begin to feel lighter in ways that are both subtle and profound, like something inside you has opened up to receive a new kind of strength, a strength that does not come from effort, but from surrender. This surrender is not about giving up, it is about trusting completely, about allowing God to guide your steps without resistance, without fear, and without the need to control every outcome. There is a deep reassurance growing within you now, a quiet confidence that everything is unfolding as it should, even if you cannot see the full picture yet. This reassurance is not based on what you see around you, but on what you feel within you, a steady presence that reminds you that you are held, that you are guided, and that you are deeply loved. The final step carries a sense of completion that feels peaceful rather than overwhelming, like closing a chapter that has served its purpose and stepping into a new one that feels aligned with your heart. It is not about leaving something behind with regret, but about moving forward with gratitude for everything that has shaped you into who you are now. You may begin to notice how your perspective on life has changed, how things that once felt urgent or important no longer hold the same weight, and how your focus naturally shifts toward what truly matters. This shift is not something you forced, it is something that has grown within you over time, nurtured by your connection with God and your willingness to trust His process. There is also a deeper sense of connection forming between you and the presence of Jesus Christ, a connection that feels more personal, more real, and more constant than ever before. It is not something distant or unreachable, it is something that lives within your everyday life, guiding you gently, supporting you quietly, and reminding you that you are never alone. As you move forward, you may find that your steps feel more certain, not because you have all the answers, but because you trust the one who is leading you. This trust allows you to walk with a sense of peace, even when the path is not fully visible, knowing that each step is being guided with care and purpose. Type yes to affirm. There is a quiet joy that begins to fill your heart now, a joy that does not come from external success or achievement, but from a deep sense of alignment with your purpose and your faith. This joy feels steady and enduring, like something that cannot be easily shaken, because it is rooted in something much deeper than temporary circumstances. You are stepping into a space where your life begins to feel more meaningful, more connected, and more peaceful, as if everything is falling into place in a way that feels natural and right. This is not something that happens suddenly or dramatically, it unfolds gently, like a flower opening slowly to the light. The final step is not something to fear, it is something to embrace with an open heart, knowing that it brings you closer to the life that was always meant for you. It is a step that carries peace, clarity, and a deep sense of belonging, a feeling that you are exactly where you need to be. You may begin to see how every part of your journey has led you here, how even the difficult moments had a purpose, and how nothing was ever truly wasted. God has been weaving your story together with care, turning every experience into something meaningful and valuable. What if abundance could be activated from within your own mind through a powerful sound frequency once kept in classified files? Specialists say this signal naturally draws opportunity and financial independence, and many people are already applying it. Click the link in the description and comments now and switch on this hidden brainwave today. There is no need to rush or force anything now, because what is meant for you will come in its own time, in its own way, and with a sense of peace that confirms it is right. This understanding allows you to relax, to trust, and to move forward without fear or doubt. As you continue this journey, you may find that your faith becomes stronger, not because life becomes easier, but because you have learned to rely on God in a deeper way. This reliance becomes your foundation, something that holds you steady no matter what comes your way. The presence of Jesus Christ continues to guide you, not with pressure or urgency, but with love and patience. He walks beside you, offering comfort, strength, and a gentle direction that you can trust. There is a sense that everything is coming together now, that the pieces are aligning in a way that feels complete and whole. This is the moment where you begin to understand that you were never lost, never forgotten, and never alone. The final step is a moment of arrival, not at a destination, but at a place within yourself where you feel peace, where you feel connected, and where you feel truly at home in God's love. It is a moment that carries both an ending and a beginning, a closing of one chapter and the opening of another that feels full of promise and hope. You may notice that the way you see your past has started to change, as if the pain that once felt sharp has softened into something quieter, something that no longer holds power over your present. The memories are still there, but they no longer define you, because God has rewritten their meaning in your life. What once felt like loss now feels like preparation. What once felt like confusion now feels like a hidden path that was guiding you all along. There is a quiet understanding forming within you that everything has been leading to this moment, even the parts that made no sense when you were walking through them. Nothing was wasted, nothing was overlooked, and nothing was outside of God's care. Each step you took, even the uncertain ones, carried you closer to the place where you stand now, a place filled with a gentle sense of clarity and purpose. Type 1212 if you walk by faith. As this clarity continues to grow, you may begin to feel a stronger connection to the presence of Jesus Christ, not as something distant or separate, but as something that lives within your daily life, guiding you quietly in every moment. This connection feels natural and steady, like a constant source of comfort that you can return to whenever you need it. It reminds you that you are never alone, that every step you take is seen, and that every moment of your life matters. There is also a new sense of freedom that begins to rise within you, a freedom from the need to hold on to things that no longer serve your peace. You may find yourself letting go of old worries, old expectations, and even old ways of thinking that once felt necessary but now feel heavy. This release does not feel like loss, it feels like stepping into a lighter version of yourself, one that is more aligned with the love and peace that God has placed within you. The final step carries a quiet strength that does not demand attention, but holds everything together with a steady and unwavering presence. It is the kind of strength that allows you to stand firm without resistance, to move forward without fear, and to trust without hesitation. This strength has been growing within you all along, even when you did not recognize it, and now it is becoming a part of how you live and move through the world. There is a sense that your life is beginning to flow more naturally, as if the resistance that once made everything feel difficult has slowly faded away. You no longer feel the need to push or force things to happen because you trust that what is meant for you will come in its own time. This trust allows you to move with ease, to breathe with peace, and to live with a quiet confidence that everything is unfolding as it should. Type 1919 to receive miracles. As you continue walking this path, you may begin to notice how your heart responds differently to the world around you, with more compassion, more patience, and more understanding. This is not something you learned through effort. It is something that has grown within you through your connection with God. His love has shaped your heart in ways that are gentle but powerful, allowing you to see beyond the surface and feel a deeper connection to everything around you. There is also a sense of alignment that begins to settle into your life, where things start to feel right in a way that is difficult to explain but easy to recognize. You may find that decisions become clearer, that your path feels more direct, and that your steps feel guided without confusion. This alignment is not accidental. It is the result of everything that has been happening within you, everything that God has been preparing behind the scenes. The final step is not something that changes everything at once. It is something that reveals what has already been changing within you all along. It is the moment where the inner transformation becomes visible, where the peace you have been cultivating begins to shape your external life in a natural and effortless way. This is not a sudden shift. It is a gentle unfolding of something that has been growing steadily over time. You are stepping into a space where your faith becomes your foundation, not just in moments of difficulty, but in every part of your life. It becomes the lens through which you see the world, the source of your strength, and the guide for your decisions.